Oh, is it recording now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So why don't you start? Yeah.
So, good evening, Shabbat Shalom, Bruchim Abayim. Welcome from Cantor David Barash and from me, Nigel Savage. Here we are in Pundak Ramon. We've had 3 hard days. We got very sweaty. We were in the burning heat and we made it to the hotel. We jumped in the pool, some of us. We had a shower. And now here we are gathered in reception. There are candles that are being lit on the side. And now we gather for Shabbat. Well, as many of you know, that's how it has been every Shabbat of the ride until this year. But why is this night different? Because we are meeting virtually and not physically. It is fascinating that it is so often the case in the ride that we ride the week of Parshat Lech Lecha, which is this week's Parsha. And it's always an incredibly profound metaphor. The beginnings of the Jewish people starts off with this injunction to Avram, Lech Lecha me'artzecha mimalabsecha mibeit avicha. Leave behind everything. Go into the unknown. Leave your land, your family, your homeland, your parents' place, and go off on this journey. And we go to Israel. We're nervous. We got bikes to unpack. What about the heat? What about the jet lag? And we go on this journey in a place of hope and a place of commitment because we believe in the ride, because we believe in the Arava Institute, because we believe in Chazon, because we believe in the possibility of making the world a better place. And now we're gathered this week slightly differently with a sense of hope and entering also into a week that's going to be a very unique journey for the American people, an election that's going to be incredibly consequential. We don't know what's going to happen. So that's how it is that we gather this evening virtually. And it's as important as it is any week. We're so grateful that each and every one of you can be with us. I'm incredibly grateful to Cantor David Barash for leading this. And simply want to invite you, it may be your practice to be with us for Shabbat or not, to be on Zoom or not, but we really just want to invite you to go with the flow. Some of you will know the words, some of you won't. Cantor Barash is going to put some of it on the screen, but just have that sense of letting go of the week and being present right now and being present with a sense of journey and a sense of hope. With that, I'm happy to hand back to Cantor Barash.
It is such a pleasure to lead this service with you as well. Thank you so much. We are going to begin with Yedid Nefesh, which you won't find a slide, but for those of you who have Sidurim may wish to find the text of Yedid Nefesh. I sing of your creation. Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman Meshoch Avdach Eritzonach Yarutz Avdach Kimo Ayah Yishtachaveh ירב לו ידידותך מנופת סוף וכל טעם הדור נאה זיו העולם נפשי חולת אהבתך אנא אל נא רפאה לה בהרוד לה נועם זיווך אז תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לך שפחת עולם ותיק ימו רחמך וחוס נא על בן אוהבך כי זה כמה נחשוף לראות בתפארת עוזך אנא אלי מחמד ליבי חושנה ואל תתעלם היגלנה ופרוס חביבי עלי את סוכת שלומך תאיר ארץ מגבודך נגילה ונשמחה בך מהר אהוב כי במועד וכונני כי מעולם יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה יאללה לה יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה יאללה לה לה יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה יאללה לה יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה יאללה לה לה איי 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 יאללה לה 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 איי איי יאללה לה לה יאללה לה יאללה יאללה לה לה יאללה לה לה יאללה יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה יאללה יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 לכו נרננה לכו נרננה לכו נרננה לאדוני לכו נרננה לכו נרננה לכו נרננה לאדוני נריע נריע לצור ישנו נקדמה פנה בתודה נריע נריע לצור ישנו בזמירות נריע לו לכו נרננה לכו נרננה לכו נרננה לאדוני לכו נרננה לכו נרננה לכו נרננה לאדוני.
So Kabbalat Shabbat is literally like letting go of the week and receiving Shabbat. And we do that traditionally at this part of the davening with 6 psalms. And the idea is that one of them is for each day of the week. So we're not going to do that now, but I think I'm just going to invite you to use the chat. I'm just going to invite you to just share in the chat a highlight from our Shabbat, from Sunday, from Monday, from Tuesday. Where were you? What do you remember? What do you want to remember? I'm going to go to my own thing here. What are some of your highlights over the last week? Obviously, apart from arriving in Israel and cycling from Jerusalem to Ashkelon, Ashkelon to Mashaba Sadeh, and Mashaba Sadeh to Mitzpeh. And I could say it's also a highlight of my week to be able to see Rabbi Bill Rudolph and you, Amy, and I don't think I know your dog, but your dog looks fabulously ready for Shabbat. Miriam Newman, hi Miriam, Steve, Shabbat Shalom, Rachel, Rebecca, Leah. Obviously, we just need a Sarah, then we would have an Ima full house. Seeing first snow on the ground, that's not what we normally have as a highlight of the middle Shabbat of the ride, the virtual ride, changing colors of the leaves. So I just invite each one of us to just remember the week and enjoy it, being inspired by Majd. And we're going to go on now to, and a second foster dog. There you go. Good, and some good medical results. So we're going to go on, in fact, now, and we're going to do Mizmor LeDavid. Back to Cantabarash.
מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בן אלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בחדרת קודש, כל אדוני על המים, אל הכבוד הרים אדוני, Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shover arazim, vayishaber Adonai et arzei halvanon, vayarkidem kemo egel Lebanon v'Sirion, kemo ven le'emim, kol Adonai חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש, כל אדוני יחולל איילות, ויחצוב יערות, ובהיכלו כולו מרכבות, כולו מרכבות, אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום, את עמו, את עמו, את עמו בשלום.
Play ball. And we don't always do this during Kabbalat Shabbat, but we're actually going to do a Misha Berach now. David's going to lead a Misha Berach, and it seems particularly appropriate that people are sick from COVID and for other things. So I invite you either to say aloud or to yourself or in the chat if there is somebody to whom you want right now, as it were, to direct healing. Take a moment to think of those people or to say their name, and Cantabarash is going to lead us in, I think, the famous Debbie Friedman tune to Misha Berach.
A combination first of the traditional Misha Berach, and then we'll go into Debbie Friedman. So we'll start out first with the kind of the traditional Hebrew, and then at a certain point, if you have a name that you'd like to add, you can unmute. We'll ask you to unmute, or you can share it in the chat. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב ואמותינו שרה רבקה רחל ולאה הוא יברך וירפא את החולים. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel and Leah bless and heal those who are ill. Tzipora bat Sarah, Rachel Perel bat Sarah. Are there others if you'd like
David ben Sarah.
Say it again, David.
David ben Sarah.
David ben Sarah. Any others in the Zoom?
Chet Holly.
Say it again.
Chet Holly.
Chet Holly.
Branwyn Kale.
Branwyn Kale. Ruth bat Chana ve'Aryeh HaKohen, and Libe bat Frida Ufesach. And obviously those who are on Zoom or on Facebook or YouTube, if you'd like to also share a name or think of a name, please mention that at this time as well. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen.
And
Now we're going to share the Misha Berach melody by Debbie Friedman. Berach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Berach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Very strong. So we come now to Lachadodi. There are frum shuls that I've been in that just daven Lachadodi. They don't even sing it. Most of the shuls that most of us go to sing it. But I always love it when we're in Israel for the ride for Kabbalat Shabbat, because Lachadodi is one of those places, I mean, many of them in their tradition, that are so physically attached to the land of Israel. The Shema is 2,500 years old. Kiddush is 2,500 years old. Aleinu is 2,000 years old. But Lachadodi, relatively speaking, is young in Jewish terms. It's barely as old as Shakespeare. It's the period that the Jews were expelled from Spain, and they spread out across the Mediterranean basin, and some of them made it back to the land of Israel. Some of them made it to Tzfat. And every time that we've reconnected with the land, it's made us crazy in a good way. And suddenly they were there celebrating Shabbat, and they were like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And they would go out, it is said, to the outskirts of the town, and they would wear a white shirt, and they would feel everything get quiet. They would see it get darker. They would be in the Galil. And then they would say, Lachadodi, Likrat Shabbat. Let's welcome the personification of Shabbat as if this were a real person, a real queen, a real monarch. And so please join Cantor Barash and me and all of us and all of the Jewish people around the world as we welcome in what we hope will be a Shabbat of peace. Lachadodi.
And please sing out with gusto at home. לכאן דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לכאן דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה. לכאן דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לכאן דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונכה, כי ממקור המרחה, מראש מקדם ניסוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שידברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. As we continue with the Psalm for Shabbat, Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. צדיקת אמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד, כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולת בו. אדוני מלאך גאות לבש, לבש אדוני עוזית הזר, אף תיכון תבל בל תימות. נכון כי שכם מאז מעולם אתה, נשאו נהרות אדוני, נשאו נהרות כולם, יישאו נהרות דוח ים. מקולות מים רבים אדירים משברי ים, אדיר במרום אדוני, עדותיך נאמנו מאוד, לביתך נאווה קודש. אדוני לאורך ימים.
Thank you so much for that. I want to say, when you're doing Tzadik Tamar, you know, the righteous should flourish like a palm tree. And I was literally remembering that point that we're cycling normally about 45 hours from now, coming down the road and coming finally towards the kibbutz, and Keturah and the Arava Institute is on the right. And there are all those palm trees flourishing and sprouting on the left-hand side of the road.
Beautiful.
We're not doing the full Marif. We're doing most of Kabbalat Shabbat, which we've done now. And in a minute, we're going to do Kaddish and then Adon Olam and then announcements, and then we'll sing Shalom Aleichem and we'll start to wrap together. So I'm going to stand up in a minute and just say Kaddish, and I think I would really invite you, if you want to if you either have a yortzeit or you're saying Kaddish or want to say Kaddish, you just unmute yourself. Try and stand up. That's not the camera over. But I invite you to join me if you would like. Yikadavi Kadash Merabah, Ba'amad Yirachi Rotev Yamlech Malchutei, B'chaychon V'yamechon V'chaydech Al Beit Yisrael B'agalav Izman Kariv M'Ramein.
Amen.
Shmei Rabbah Barach Le'olam Olamay Amayah. Yibarach V'yishtabach V'yipah V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yitadah V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei D'Kodeshah Baruch Hu. Elah Min Kol Bechata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nachamata Amiram Ba'almad M'Ramein. Yehi Shlomo Rabba Min Shemai V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael M'Ramein.
Amen.
Say Shalom M'Ramav Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'Yimru Amen.
Amen.
Adon Olam.
Okay, I think we need a little choral cacophony. So I'm going to ask for everybody to unmute who would like to sing along, because it's one of the things I miss so much on the virtual ride, or on the, well, not, we're on the virtual ride, on the Israel ride is when we have Shabbat services and we have all these beautiful harmonies. So I'm sure we can still have these harmonies. They may not fit exactly in the right place, but that's okay. So if you would like to unmute and sing along, the words are in front of you, and please join in. I'd like to hear a couple of voices. It would be nice. So if you want to join in, please do. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Tem Kol Yetzir Nivra Ednachas V'Cheshon Azay Shemo Nikra Azay Melech Shemo Nikra Yacharek Yichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Torah
David, you're incredibly gracious, because what you called harmonizing sounded more like heckling, but it was
well, we were together. We were somewhat together. So
yes, with kavanah and with good humor. This is the point that one would normally announce that Kiddush is being sponsored by Ponovitz Wheatso and Hadassah of Greater Massachusetts. But in fact, I think I'm going to hear Rachel Calico. Do you want to unmute yourself and give us a couple of announcements, or shall I do it? If you got it there? You're on mute.
Try again. Okay, sure. Thanks, Nigel. That was beautiful, David. That was really beautiful. Thank you very much. I really miss Friday evening services, I will tell you. So Zoom, we're going to stay open for those of you who would like to stay open, to stay here and chat a little bit, catch up the end of the day before Shabbat. tomorrow or going into Shabbat. Tomorrow morning, we're going to start the day off with yoga with Matan at 12 noon Eastern time. Following that, at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern time, we have 2 alumni panel circles with Arava Institute alumni, the conversations which we have every year on Shabbat together with them. Then later on in the evening, we will start Havdalah. We will have a musical Havdalah at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then there will be a talent show immediately following that. The links are all in. I will post the link on our programming page. And you will get your daily email to sign up. If not, I hope that some of you have already signed up for some of tomorrow's programs. For those of you who will use your electronics tomorrow during the day, we look forward to seeing you then. And we will be here for those of you who would like to stay and chat and welcome Shabbat in together. So
Rachel,
Nigel, thank you so much. And David.
Thank you. So I also just want to say, as it happens, I'm really not a big fan of Jewish stuff on Zoom because I spend my life, like many of us do, in meetings, and I haven't done so many services. And I just want to say, David, not only is it an incredible pleasure and privilege to daven with you in this extraordinary and unique and really unusual way, but honestly, each one of you, it is so lovely to see you. Like, it really does feel like a little memory of the ride and all of those memories overlapping and the different times that we, each of us, have seen each other and crossed over. And there is a certain kind of sadness in being separated in this way, but there is also something very lovely about connecting in this way. So I want to thank each and every one of you. If people are watching this on Facebook, we want to thank you also. I want to thank my staff, Leah and Rebecca, and also Lana and Sarah for helping this out. Rachel, thank you to you. Thank you to everybody at FAY and the Arava Institute. And Cantor David Barash, back to you to lead us in Shalom Aleichem and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. I also want to say it was really wonderful. It was beautiful to be with all of you. We had our little minyan, a little kind of shtibel minyan, 12 of us or 13 now on the screen, maybe some others there as well. And just as we began, it was such a pleasure to lead this with you, Nigel. Thank you so much. It was inspiring. So we are going to conclude with Shalom Aleichem, like we began with the Nigun for Shalom Aleichem, and now we're going to conclude. I can put the words on if you'd like, or others we can see each other. It's up to you. I think everyone knows the words, or would you like the words? You need the words? No, we don't need the words. Okay, so here we go. Shalom Aleichem, and we'll sing this together. So we'll have a little bit of harmony here, and if you want to sing along, you can too. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Hi, Deborah. Lovely to see you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Great.
She was my DJ. She was my DJ. She pushed the songs when we had other songs. So
beautiful. Nice to see.
Wonderful. Please unmute. It's wonderful to be all together.
Yeah.
Miriam, Bill, so lovely to see you. Steve,
Shabbat
David,
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Wonderful to see all of you.
Nice to see everybody on this snowy day here in
Snowy, wow.
I believe it's snowing.
Wow. Milwaukee, it's not snowy, but it's cold. So,
No, I
Matt?
rushed. I rushed
Hi,
to
Harvey.
I rushed to
Hey.
harvest
Hi.
yesterday.